देखिए क्योंकि प्राइमरी आपको नहीं।
जी just because I have joined it. ये हम लोग देखते ही नहीं है अपनी तो फोटो की क्या करो मेरा फोटो नहीं है
Okay, camera. So then they can see the background. Done. Very good morning to all. Thank you so very much for joining this session because this is very important to discuss on this very important day. As we all know, today is the World Mental Health Day, and the theme of the day is mental health for all, greater investment and greater access. So here we have decided to interact on very important topic, science of happiness, supporting resilience in adolescents. And we from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Jodhpur, are thanking to all of you for joining this lively interaction with all of us. As AIMS Jodhpur is committed to provide quality service to all the people, all the corners of the world. And here we are the three persons, myself, Naresh Nebinani. I'll be talking about science of happiness. My colleague, Dr. Swati Chaudhary, will talk about combating COVID-19 with resilience. And my another junior colleague, Dr. Isha, will talk about very important area, real-time relaxation practice. So we all three, with all of our team of 23 people, are with you to discuss on this very important area. So please be with us next 1 hour. As I said, the theme of the day is mental health for all. It makes things very important because all of us are important, yes, then mental health for all of us is also very important. So how can we invest better? Today's effort is also in this line because we are trying to invest with our interaction with all you, and definitely it will improvise the access to mental health services, be it if someone has problems then mental health illnesses, but again other way, why not to talk about health, broadly mental health. And yes, lastly, we'll take up the questions. So here the program is around 40 minutes and the 20 minutes is a discussion. So please be with me for next 15 minutes. I'll be interacting with you all about the science of happiness. I like the title because happiness is very important. Yes, we all agree. It increases once we start sharing about our all good things. It multiplies actually. I'll try to put some light on this area because it is very important to know. And yes, we must be knowing some or other things, but yes, let's know some more things how to stay happy. So I'll focus on happiness for next 15 minutes. And yes, I'll try to connect happiness with mental health or positive and promotive mental health. Because we all agree, our team agree, and I guess all of you also agree that staying happy is the highest level of success. If we are happy, we enjoy everything. And yes, if we are not happy, we generally don't enjoy anything. So let's discuss the formula for happiness. Guess someone of you know about some formula. So let's talk about some very important research which has talked about a formula. Here, happiness is equal to S is a set point, whatever is our set point. C is the circumstances or life condition, and the V is voluntary activities or whatever we are trying to keep us happy. And here the researchers have found very surprising thing, but yes, around 50% is decided by the set point. So let's not to talk about that. But the circumstances do contribute around 10% that we are going to be happy or not. And our all strategies, meaning by actions or thoughts or approaches, contribute around 40%. So if we say out of this 50%, so around 20% is contributed by the circumstances or environment, and 80% is contributed by our own efforts. So let's have better efforts. So That's the purpose of today's interaction with me and with you. I've seen some people who are ever smiley. They keep things lively. We connect with them very easily. We also help them. They also help us. So yes, this is a magnet which helps us. That's why let us have a smile on our face as much as possible. Yes, if we have some issues, let's discuss. And if you want to know about the people who are ever smiley and you know already few people, just talk to them, connect with them, and then you will come to know what they also have so many problems, so many issues, but they still keep smiling. So let's learn how. So one of the important is by a very big personality. It is Mr. Robin Sharma. I'm a big fan of this person. He's a lawyer and he's a motivational speaker for various big organizations, be it IBM, NASA, Intel, and he has given some general formula or tips for happiness. So let's connect in his very important book, Mega Living. One and very important, pursue a productive, exciting, active life. So we have to be active and we have to involve our time in exciting and productive thing, not just in slumber and being idle. Two is very important. Whatever we are doing, every minute of every day should be meaningful. Yes, it helps us to connect with the world and with our goal. Three, very, very important to have organized and planned lifestyle. I know I'm talking to my dear colleagues who are just in their 15, 16 or some lesser year or some more years. But yes, if we can manage our life in an organized way now, then definitely it is going to be very rosy in the coming years. Yes, we need to have our goals and goals should be realistic. But yes, you have to keep your mark high, not to dwindle here and there without goal. The big word is think positively. Whatever comes in life, but have your approach in a positive way, positive thoughts, positive approach, positive attitude, then definitely the chances of getting positive outcome is much more. Avoid needless worry over trifling matters because generally we see small things come in our mind and we are so much affected. So why not to focus on the larger goals, like the above the clouds of worry. Definitely, we all need to devote some time to fun. It is most important to connect with our all nears and dears with some fun. And that's why, again, I'm saying to you that develop a warm and outgoing personality with sincere love of people because, yes, you all are now going to see your personality in few years. So why not to work now because it's now started preparation and maybe after 5 to 10 years you will settle with your own personality. So I'm happy to connect with you all teenagers. Definitely work. How are we giving more or are we receiving more? If we go with giving more, definitely will be more happy. It comes whatever we do good. So be in a giving mode and please and please and please stay live in the present. Whatever is happening now, it is the most important thing. Don't much focus on the past. Take some lessons wherever needed. Don't much focus on the future. Have some plans. But whatever right now it is present, that's why it's called gift to us. And if we see, then definitely happiness is with us now. And more importantly, very scientific strategy teaches us to focus on the present is mindfulness. Dear friends, it is a way of focusing attention on a purpose. Right now I'm talking to you, it's my purpose. In the present, just now, not 1 hour before what I was doing, 1 hour after I'll do, no, just now. And most importantly, I shall be or I need to be non-judgmental. Then I'll keep my best energy. And if I try mindfulness now, definitely it will give me more. And if you try mindfulness in day-to-day thing, mindful eating, mindful breathing, mindful walking, and you can Google up mindfulness, it's a biggest science in right now scenario. People are talking much about it. It pays a lot. Once I thought this was the formula or strategies by other people, why not to have some formula from my side? So I just tried to have one. Please write whenever you have time, enumerate your source of distress on one page, keep the other page blank, and then start writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever comes in your mind. And subsequently, once you are done, try to write on opposite side of the page what are the possible solutions for that. And you will surprise there are so many distresses you are also not knowing, and you will also surprise that you are having solution for most of the things. And the third surprise may come, oh my god, I am having solution for most of things but I'm not trying. So once I tried this several times and I found these all three surprises, and you may also find other general tip of happiness. Please list about the people, things, activity which keeps you up or happy. And on another side of the page or the next page, please write down the things, whatever makes you sad or down. What is the importance of this activity or exercise? Whatever is keeping you happy or up, and if it is not harmful, please involve your most of the time in those things. or sometime in those things that will keep you up. And then the second part, whatever makes you down, also see to that list. Whatever is not important, delete from your day-to-day thing. Whatever is important, then learn how to work out with those things, those people, and those activities in a better mood. Then definitely we'll be more focused on our approach rather than we are waiting the world will give us happiness and then we will be happy. No, it's with us. And that's why the world has recognized that that's very important is the happiness. So why not to celebrate? So International Day of Happiness comes on 20th of March. Dear friends, I'll share some data which is not good, agree. Because India is ranking in the recent report. This is the recent report of 2020 only, released in this year, March 20. And but this was a cumulative report of 2017 to 2019. And there India is ranked 144 out of total 153 countries. So we agree with this that we are towards the bottom. That's definitely not good. What about the top rankers? Finland, consecutively for last 3 years, it is on the top. Denmark, Switzerland, Ireland. So in a way, let's work on that. So we have some or other tips. We'll talk about those tips, but these are the general tips. But if you know and if you follow, definitely we'll be more and more happy and will contribute more. Dear friends, if I'm saying happy doesn't mean that happy means every time I'll be happy or you'll be happy. No, no one can be. But then how to handle the day-to-day things. So that's why we should have our own definition, comprehensive definition about the stress, whatever comes. So dear friends, whenever we talk about stress and that disturbs our happiness, I agree. And most of the time we focus on the one definition, just these are the pressures or demands and problems from outside. But yes, this is not the complete definition. Complete definition has two components. One is the pressures or demands from outside. Two is our response to those demands. That's why the definition is given. Stress is a process whereby an individual perceives and responds to events that he appraises as overwhelming or threatening to his well-being. So here there are two things, what I perceive to what I respond. That makes the definition complete and that makes the science of stress management complete, because then only I can have better strategies and I can manage those stresses better. And very important concept, and that's why we should have this bucket as big as possible with us. And this bucket denotes what? It's our resilience. How comfortable are we whenever some pressure comes? How easily we are coming to back to the normal after tackling those stressors and pressures. My colleague Dr. Swati will talk about more how to be more resilient, but I'll more connect on the bottom of this bucket. It has a tap. In a way, we all should have good coping, good approaches, good vents, good safety walls, good tips to manage our stress. If we have, then definitely this bucket won't be filled with all these stresses. Whenever we have something, it will be released from this tap and then at the end we'll be comfortable. If the tap is not working or we don't have good coping or good approaches, after some time this bucket will flow and then it will overflow and then we'll see the effect of stress in all the ways. And this must be my most important message for at least what I think. And even in this time, it becomes very important. So whenever we are free, please draw two circles on your copy. First circle is the green circle. These are the things which I can control. And I would say this circle of influence, wherever I have influence. And the outer circle, which is the yellow one, is a circle of concern. These are the things beyond my control. And then the important message is this, then if I know what are things in my control, I'll work better. And what are the things not in my control, leave it. Just chill, just relax. But yes, if I work proactively or you work proactively, then inner circle will be bigger and bigger. Meaning by the things under my control will be much more and things beyond my control will be much less. In this circle, it is maybe around 10 to 20% things are not in my control, while rest 80% in my control. So yes, I can work better. Unfortunately, most of us, most of the time become reactive to the situation, become too emotional and too difficult to handle, and then resultantly whatever we work, our circle of influence reduces, meaning by things under my control reduces and the outer circle, outer margin is constant. So in a way, things beyond control increases and then definitely we become in more and more negative energy and stress. So please work whenever, please work, be proactive. And this is a comprehensive image to show that whatever we see in day-to-day thing, whatever we appraise is just interpretation of stressors. If it is positive, we are having proper appraisal, then one, we can deal things better. Two, for secondary appraisal, meaning by our own resource support system. If it is also proper, then we see My support system or your support system is you, your family, your friends, your nearest dears, plus in the world, whosoever can help you at the time of need, it's your support. So if you see properly, then there is no stress. But unfortunately, many times the appraisal is faulty and we have more stress. And on the top, how are we handling? If it is a proactive, public, problem focused approach, we can deal with the problem better. If it is emotional or passive approach, then yes, it takes more time. So why not to reappraise and have the better coping and then see where is the stress? Nowhere. It is our work and it is our learning. And very important to share some general tips. Dear friend, I'll be brief now because there are more pictures than the words, but very important pictures. So stay connected with yourself, with friends, with family, and with all the people that these are of your connect. Then definitely life is always well because that is going to contribute the most. And please have your own general small strategies to manage day-to-day mood swings, anger, irritation. Because I'm sorry to say, all of us have. Some people express, some don't express, but they keep them within themselves. So here are general tips: be it back counting, soft toys, distraction, deep breathing, om chanting, whatever you want. And here I am summarizing what? Because my happiness is my responsibility. Because how I'm focusing accordingly, I'll be more happy or less happy. Situations is the one component, but my effort is a bigger component, as I mentioned earlier. Another keyword is positive attitude. That's why few people are ever happy, ever balanced. Most of are not. Because in positive attitude, the big one important definition is seed of equivalent. So let's focus psychological definition than the religious definition, and it works amazingly. I am really fond of this definition. Partly some principle what I shared are also related to this prayer. It's called serenity prayer oblique shanti prarthana. God, please grant me the serenity to accept the things which I can't change. Give me the courage to change the things which I can. And the third and most important, give me wisdom to differentiate between both. Why it is important? Maybe 10% things are not in my hand. So let me have peace of mind that I can change the situation and I can make the best decision for myself. And then the fourth and most important thing, give me the courage to change the things which I can't change. Give me the wisdom to differentiate between both. Why it is important? Maybe 10% things are not in my hand. So let me have peace of mind that I can change the situation and I can make the best decision for myself. And then the fifth and most important thing, give me the
You have to connect the pulse oximeter and you have to see what is the oxygen saturation of that patient. If it's on lower side, you have to give supplemental oxygen and try to titrate saturation between 94 to 98%. Brief points about ACLS like we are dealing with BLS only here, but in ACLS or mild, basically few differences are there. Like in that you have to inject the drug, you have to take a definitive airway. So an advanced air device like LMA or endotracheal tube has to be secure. Rate of compression is same, at least 100 per minute, but rate of ventilation is changed in ACLS. Like in that,
केवल
it was
वॉइस
30
होगी
cc
क्या?
because no,
फिर एक काम कर,
no
जो
secured
डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ
airway,
सेक्रेटरी नाम से
airway
जो
is
है
not
ना,
secured in that. So you were
जिसमें
given
से वॉइस
30
आ रही है
cc
मैडम
tube,
की,
right? But in this, after securing airway, you have
उस
to give rate at 8 to 10 breaths per
उसमें
minute. And
चेंज
adrenaline is
करके देखना,
injected
उसमें
either
इसमें
IV
वो
or intravenous.
वाइब्रेट
Mostly IV is used. And you have to continue CPR till advanced health alive or eternal spontaneous circulation is.
Yes, sir, we are here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay. And, without any further delay, I would start my presentation where we are going to talk about how resilience can help us to combat the current situation of the pandemic. So, adolescence is a transition phase from childhood to adulthood, in which they usually face various kind of challenges in form of academic, interpersonal, and emotional. And this year we got another challenge in form of COVID-19. So many of you would be able to relate to this teenager girl who's surrounded by and looks very stressed, and she's having thoughts like, when will this pandemic end? What if I or someone in family got sick? How is it going to impact my future? So all of this current situation has led to some or other kind of stress in all of us. We are stressed in various forms, such as physical reaction like sleep disturbances, fatigue, aches, emotional reaction in form of irritability, mood swings, mental reaction when you find it difficult to concentrate and you forget things quickly, and social reaction in form of aggression and social withdrawal or isolation. So what can be done about it? Many of you would be able to relate with the quote by Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter when he said that even in the darkest of times, you can find happiness if you only remember to turn on the light. So resilience is a very important tool to face any kind of stressful situation. And even in current pandemic situation, we can face it really well if we try to be and build some kind of resilience in us. So resilience is a Latin word derived by Latin. Stand I will to know how to handle the situation. Emotional competence, moral competence, which is about positive self-perception, behavioral competence, and social competence. We'll be going to discuss about them briefly. So first of all, practicing self-acceptance. This falls under the moral competence, and it is about being aware of one's strengths and weaknesses. So this appraisal of one's strengths and weaknesses needs to be realistic. So when you are trying to appraise about your talents, capabilities, you also need to take note of your deficiencies. So how can we practice self-acceptance? You can do simple activities like you can jot down a few things which you like about yourself, activities which makes you a better and stronger person. And most importantly, never take yourself for granted. Whenever you feel that you have completed a task which seemed difficult to you in the initiation, then give yourself the due credit and pat yourself on the back. And always have a positive and open attitude about the change. Because once you've identified the deficiencies in yourself, the next big task comes in the form of what can be done about it. So you always need to be open. You need to have an open attitude about the change. And self-acceptance is one thing through which we can become a good friend with ourselves. So these are the basic components where you need to realize that my worth does not stem from what I look like or what I do. So don't attach your self-worth to the scores on your report cards, to the scores on even the weighing machine. That is not your self-worth. I am learning to see the good in all parts of me. Even in the not so good part, you can find something good about it. I deserve to be gentle on myself. I am learning to accept myself just as I am. And you need to realize, we all need to realize actually that I have enough, I do enough, and I am enough. Next, coming to emotions. So in past almost 6 months, we all have been facing various kind of emotional turbulence. So how to handle it? First of all, we need to identify our emotions and to reflect upon them. And then we need to learn the ways to express our emotions in a constructive way. So here I'm taking example of anger and what are the key steps you need to follow to identify and appraise your anger issues or emotional issues. So first of all, you need to Yes, so as I already said that the first step is to identify your emotion and how you can go about it. So we need to follow simple steps. So I will take an example of anger here. So first of all, you need to identify your emotion, then consider the reason for your anger, what caused the anger. Then you need to consider about how you can address the reason for your anger. Then consider the consequences of various ways of reacting. In that situation, you will be able to think about various ways in which you can react in that particular situation. And you need to think about all the consequences which would result because of those reactions. Then you need to think about what are the things which you can change and cannot change which are causing you anger. So the things which you cannot change, there is no point in pondering over things which are not under your control, which you cannot change. So the best thing is always to accept that part and focus on the part which you can change. You can also maintain a simple emotion worksheet where you can just jot down when do you feel the happiest, saddest, what are the things do you dislike, what is your greatest fear, what you do when you are happy, sad, angry, frightened. Next component comes as good interpersonal skills. Ways of communicating, and each approach provokes different kind of responses. Assertiveness is an important personal and interpersonal skill. So assertiveness helps you to express yourself in a clear, open, and reasonable way. Our own needs as well as others' needs. So the essence is to balance between these two behaviors and remain assertive. So assertive behavior looks like telling someone exactly what you want in a way that does not seem rude or threatening, and standing up for your own rights without putting down the rights of others. Next C is confidence, which is believing in one's abilities. So when we are confident, we push ourselves to achieve and create. And to build confidence, we need to practice and train ourselves in a small steps, which will ultimately lead us towards our ultimate aim. And taking feedback is very important because many of the times we are not able to identify the deficiencies or where we are going wrong. And whenever we take a feedback, more of constructive feedback, we can mend our ways and we can do better in whatever we are. Next, C stands for connection. So being socially connected is important for everyone, especially for teenagers. So in current times, you can reach out to your friends via phones or video chats, which I assume you would already be doing. You can even write emails, cards, letters, which you can post. But while taking care of this connection part, you also need to take care of the screen time, which you need to limit to a particular time. And to be safe on the social media platform and the online world, try not to accept requests from strangers online. And if you feel any kind of problem related to your online activity, you can always take advice from parents or elders. Next comes character. So it is a fundamental sense of right and wrong. So when we talk about character strengths, these are the things which makes us to do the right thing even if nobody is watching. So for acquiring this, we need to practice looking beyond immediate satisfaction of selfish needs. In the current times of instant gratification, that was little difficult. But once you start practicing it, you will develop this habit also. And we need to notice behavior like others, and in few cases, if it is the effect is not very good, you need to modulate your behavior also. And whenever you are in two minds, always seek help from your elders, siblings, parents, anyone you think can help you better in such things. Whenever you are confused between what is right and what is wrong. Next, C stands for contribution. So we all should try to contribute to the well-being of others in the society. So personal contribution gives us a source of purpose and motivation. It inculcates the attitude of living in our. Another thing is when we come for us ask for help in need. And at the end of the day, contribution is a contribution. There is nothing called smaller or larger contribution. So don't think that way and just contribute in whatever manner you can. Next comes coping, which is another important aspect of being resilient. So coping is a capacity to respond and to recover from something stressful. Once you learn how to cope effectively the stressful situation, it is going to help you for your lifelong, because we all are bound to face some or other kind of challenges throughout the life. And while planning for a coping, it's always a good idea to break down the big problems into smaller ones. And we need to concentrate more on the solution than on the problems. So when we talk about coping, there are two kinds of coping. One is adaptive coping, which could be either emotion focused and problem focused. Emotion focused are the short-term coping skills when we are trying to come out of any kind of overwhelming emotions, which can be done by doing simple activities like exercise, meditate, etc. While problem focused coping skills are focuses on identifying a solution for our problems and strategies which are based on problem solving. So these include such as we need to work on managing time, we can ask for support. Then also there are maladaptive coping, which includes aggression, avoidance, when we avoid the problem at all, when we deny that we are even having a problem, which are not going to get a solution for your problem and is going to cause more suffering. So we should never go towards a maladaptive, rather try to inculcate adaptive coping yourself. And for coping, another thing which you can do is you can set goals, you can plan your day beforehand, and your goals should be smart in the sense that it should be specific, measurable, most importantly achievable, realistic and timely. Then to declog your mind, you can indulge yourself in various activities like arts, music, books, exercise, whatever makes you feel better. Then you can simply jot down the things which makes you feel good, such as books you want to read, indoor activities which you want to do, healthy foods which you would like to eat, things which you have always wanted to explore but never had this much of time, exercises which you can do indoors. You can also prepare an idea book where you can jot down all your ideas, no matter how unrealistic they might be at present. So you will have something to come back when you are bored. You can use either digital apps or pen paper. You can also make a gratitude jar at home, and you can just, whenever you feel gratitude in the day, you can write the write it down on the paper and put it in a jar and read it at the end of the month. So this will help you to remember the things that you are thankful for. For staying healthy, you need to consume good food, you need to exercise regularly, you need to drink plenty of water, try to stay calm, which will be helped by if you practice relaxation, which we'll be discussing shortly, and take professional help if necessary. Next, C stands for control. So go to resilience is knowing that your action matters. When we have a sense of control, we have a feeling of hope, which provides us strength for the difficult times. This can be done by taking up responsibility. So just remember, no one can control all the things happening in their life, but we can always change the odds by choosing protected. Limiting time has become even more important in current times when you are having online classes as well as social media engagements. So first of all, to solve any problem, we need to identify and accept the problem. You can identify your triggers such as push notification, alert sounds, etc. You can track your screen time. There are multiple apps available on App Store which will help you to track your screen time. You can go for digital dieting and try to nurture real world connection which would help you to leave your phone and other gadgets for a while. Now I need to summarize the few general coping strategies. So always remember, it is normal to feel sad, stressed, confused, scared during a crisis. So talking to people you trust can help, and you can contact your families or friends. Try staying home, maintain a healthy lifestyle, eat well, sleep well, do exercise, stay connected with your loved ones. If you feel overwhelmed with your emotion, talk to someone, seek help from physical or mental health needs if required, and get the facts, gather information that will help you accurately determine your risk from a credible source such as WHO. And try to lessen the time you and your family spend watching or listening to media coverage that you perceive as upsetting. And you can always draw on skills you have used in the past that have helped you to manage previous life adversities, and use those skills to help you manage your emotions during the challenging time of this outbreak. So always remember, stay clear of the fake news. It's okay to be non-productive sometimes. If you cannot control the situation around, you can control your actions always. It's okay to feel and it's okay to fail. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Dr. Nisha, who would be guiding you through a relaxation practice, and which you can later on practice by yourself, which will help you to staying calm in this situation. Dr. Nisha.
A very good morning to everyone. Now we are going to practice to relax using a deep breathing method and creative visualization, a technique which was earlier used in best possible self-exercise. This technique helps us to calm down and relax, which in turn can help us in reducing mental fatigue, re-energizing ourselves, and dealing with stress. Please sit comfortably on your chair by keeping your feet flat on the ground without crossing the legs. Relax your whole body, sit straight, and keep your arms relaxed on the armrest of the chair or on your thighs. We will be guiding you through a visualization that is relaxing. The more vividly you can imagine, the better it would be. Please try to imagine each of the sensations that are described. Close your eyes gently. Close your eyes so that you can imagine the pictures that are being suggested in the exercise. Try to imagine the scene as vividly as possible. Breathe slowly and breathe long. Breathe long so that you can feel your belly, your stomach rise and fall with each inhalation and exhalation. Breathe slowly. Let your abdomen muscles rise a bit as you breathe in. Breathe slowly out, fully. Keep breathing slowly. Now imagine it is a hot and sultry day. Imagine feeling hot and sweaty after a long, difficult day. Hot and sweaty. You are going to a place in the midst of nature to relax. You're walking through a narrow stretch of road with lush green trees lined up on both sides. Feel the cool breeze blowing on your face. It is a relatively quiet road with few passerbys. Now imagine reaching to your favorite place. Around you, you see a patch of flowering trees in full bloom. You notice the colors of the flower: yellow, pink, purple. You bend the low branch gently and touch a flower, feeling the texture of the soft pearls and their curve inwards. Leaves in all shapes and sizes, in different shades of green. You see a squirrel lying up on a tree branch, holding something and taking a pick at it. You hear the birds chirping, as though conversing with each other, and you feel amused. You see a bunch of kids playing some distance away. You don't hear their voices clearly, but you can see them playing. Taking turns to swing on a makeshift swing on a tree branch. You can see a few balloons flying in the sky. Red, blue, and orange. And a pair of birds flying elegantly high up in the sky. You walk further through a patch of grass, green and soft on your feet. You reach a pond. Imagine splashing water on your face and washing your feet. You sit down and look around you. The evening sun peeping from behind a tall tree. You can see the fluffy white evening clouds in various shapes and sizes, moving as though so carefree and light. Your attention shifts to the water in the pond. A lotus in the pond. A light shade of pink. You notice a large green leaf floating on the water. You watch its movement and the reflection of the sun on water. You are feeling a gentle breeze on your face, your hair, and your ears. You're slowly breathing in and out, feeling relaxed, serene, and content. Soaking yourself in all that is beautiful around you. Enjoying the moment. Now imagine that you slowly start walking back, feeling completely relaxed and refreshed and recharged. Breathing gently, feeling calm. You can now open your eyes and get back in your room. Thank you.
Very good morning to all. I'm sorry there was some technical issue because of internet in between, and we'll take up the questions. Already we have got some questions from your side earlier. You can also send your questions in the chat box. So we got so many registrations for this event, and dear students, we got so many queries as well. So let me touch upon few queries, though we are trying to cover up the queries in our presentations. But one was this environmental disturbances and distractions in studies, as someone asked, or many of you have asked this. So as we just discussed, whatever is important, focus on that, and whatever is not important, please don't focus. Some other disturbances as well as distractions may come up day in and day out. Two, if you try some of the general practices as discussed by Dr. Isha, also touched upon by Dr. Swati and by me, then definitely there will be lesser disturbance and lesser distractions, and you will prefer what do you want. Two is again as a stress due to load of information and fear of contracting infection. As I just said, whatever I can do, whatever you can do, please focus on that, rest, leave it. In other way, also try to focus on your immunity, because if our immunity is much better, our precautions are better, then chances of getting different type of infections, including corona, is much less. Two, even if it comes, it will pass on, because the recovery is good in one or other way. So let's take care of all the people whosoever are suffering. And one very importantly asked by the screen time and social media. So in a way, it is important because this is the problem all over the world. If we focus on this, then definitely the people, the World Health Organization has also given the guideline for the screen time. So let's focus and again connect on the non-screen related things which we were earlier doing to again have the beauty of those all hobbies, small or big, but off screen. See, even with the screen, if you can be more productive, then there's no problem, but please balance in line with that. We'll also touch upon those areas in some other time. Regarding the different time management and routine management, if you know what is your schedule and how can you improvise your schedule, and then work on the different technique. One is called set time method or timetable method, that from morning to evening I'm just keeping my important things in my plan and I'm trying. Two is again different technique is called Swiss cheese technique, in which if I'm getting 10 minutes free here, I'm finishing some part of my work. If I'm getting 5 minutes free, I'm finishing some part of my bigger work. In a way, you will use your time, and please focus on your time should be on important things, because a lot of time goes on non-important things. In way of different time wasters, please focus on that. We will also touch upon this, and Dr. Swati to add, because some questions were directly related to this. And also Sapna ma'am also willing to say something, as she always bless all of the students and others with her words.
So regarding the stress due to the load of information, so first of all, whatever you can restrict the information which you are receiving, you can restrict the time which you are spending watching TV, news channels, and even social media. Another thing is whatever information you are still receiving, you need to critically analyze it, whether the influence that information is having on you is good or not. So that is very important. And always check whatever information you are receiving, always check it through a credible source. Because on internet there are multiple number of resources which are not credible. You don't know whether the information they are providing is right or not. About the fear of contracting infection, if you are following the basic things which are required to prevent infection, such as washing hands regularly, wearing a mask, following physical distancing, then anyway there are lesser chances for you to contract the infection. So that again, that is the only thing which is under your control, which you can do to prevent contracting infection. Social media, not long term. They can the things like bullying or something. If you are facing any kind of online bullying, that is like which are realistic and things which you really enjoy doing.
Thank you. And as the few queries were related to the COVID-19 vaccine, dear students, the scientists and researchers are working in this area. Hope to have it in 2020. But after that also it's a long I also asked him how to keep ourselves safe. We come in contact of corona infected person. Please follow is as if you want to see lessons from your side for the students.
Yes, I would definitely
Yeah.
like to
Please,
say
your words
good afternoon, everyone.
You will be able to respond.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Sir? Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone present in the webinar, and my children, my good friends, and doctors. Profuse gratitude to Dr. Nebhani, Dr. Swati, Dr. Isha, and Dr. Nisha, and the entire team of doctors for sharing your expertise, your words of wisdom, attention, and time with the audience. Just like technical glitches, our life is also a mix of good and bad. Am I right, doctor? Am I right, children?
Yeah, ma'am, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
There are positivities, there are negativities, happiness, sadness, everything is there in life. But it needs to be taken with positivity in our stride. There can be hiccups on our way of any sort. But thank you, doctors, for trying your best to make us happy. Your session has been a brilliant learning lesson to all of us. Life at this juncture, I feel that it may be stressful for some, but regardless of all the circumstances, we should remember that there is light at the end of the tunnel and happier times are ahead. This is true that happiness is the best medicine to cure all ailments. And thank you, dear students of RKA. You are the charming buds who make our souls blossom. You make us happy at all times. Uh, there can be different moods and emotions, but still you are the ones for whom we all are working. We care for you. That's why we invited you to join this session and add to your happiness. And I believe firmly that happiness depends on ourselves. It is not something which is ready-made. So with this special word of gratitude, once again, I profusely thank each and everyone present here and thank you doctors once again. Thank you, Gyanam Bhar.
Thank you very much. And definitely the happiness is in our hand and it's a fine balance. Trying for the things and letting the things happen with a all positive approach. And thank you all dear students. Thank you from my team, Dr. Swati, Dr. Isha, Dr. Karan, Dr. Tushar. We all were helping and